What if the reason turmeric never worked for you has nothing to do with turmeric itself, but everything to do with one simple preparation mistake almost everyone makes? Let's get into it. You've been taking turmeric wrong, and here's the proof. Most people stir turmeric into cold water and drink it down, and then wonder why they feel nothing after weeks of trying. Here's the simplest way to understand why. Drop a spoonful of oil into a glass of water. What happens? It floats. It never mixes. That's exactly what curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, does inside your body when there's no fat present. It just passes through without being absorbed. Your body never actually gets it. This one mistake is why millions of people write turmeric off as overhyped. It's not overhyped. It's just being prepared completely wrong. What about black pepper? Is it actually doing anything? Yes, but not in the way most people think. Black pepper doesn't really help turmeric get in. It's more like someone blocking the exit door. It slows down how fast your liver breaks curcumin down, so it stays in your bloodstream a little longer. That's still genuinely useful. But here's the thing almost nobody tells you. That same liver mechanism also processes a lot of common medications. Blood pressure pills, blood thinners, anti-anxiety medication. If you take any of these regularly and you're loading up on concentrated black pepper supplements, not just a pinch on your food, but actual supplement doses, it could unpredictably affect how your medication works. A pinch of black pepper in your food is perfectly fine. Concentrated piperine supplements with medications, talk to your doctor first. And here's the bigger point. Black pepper helps a little, but it was never the main event. Fat is. By the way, we're pushing to hit 200,000 subscribers before the end of this month. If this channel gives you real, practical health information you can actually use, hit subscribe right now. It takes 2 seconds, and it genuinely means everything to us. Why fat is the real key, and what to actually use curcumin is fat soluble. It travels through your body by hitching a ride with dietary fat, the same route vitamin D and vitamin E use. Without fat present, curcumin simply has no ride to catch. This isn't a modern discovery. This is centuries of wisdom made visible. Nobody in India, where turmeric has been used for thousands of years, ever stirred it into cold water. It was cooked into ghee. In Southeast Asia, into coconut milk. Nobody back then knew the word bioavailability. But the results across generations spoke for themselves. The best fats to pair with turmeric, ghee, the traditional choice, and still one of the best. Cold-pressed olive oil. Easy, accessible, works beautifully. Coconut oil, especially good in warm drinks. Avocado oil, mild flavor, great absorption. Even a plain egg yolk works. The fat is already built right in. What about heat? Does cooking turmeric destroy it? The internet is very confident about this. The science is actually more nuanced. Here's the honest answer. Gentle, brief heat does seem to help curcumin become slightly more available to your body. But hard boiling or prolonged high heat can break down its beneficial compounds. There's no magic number of minutes, just a simple rule. Low and slow. Never a rolling boil. 2 minutes on a gentle simmer. That's it. That's all you need. The basic recipe that actually works. Make this tomorrow morning. This takes 4 minutes, no blender, no fancy equipment. Take half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. Add it to a cup of warm water, warm milk, or broth, whatever you enjoy most. Heat it gently for 2 minutes on low. Just a quiet simmer, never boiling. Take it off the heat. Stir in 1 teaspoon of cold-pressed olive oil or melted ghee. Add a pinch of black pepper if you like. It doesn't hurt, and the combination of fat plus pepper is actually stronger than either one alone. Optional, a small spoon of raw honey for taste. That's it. Drink it warm. Do it every day. How to get turmeric without any special drink at all. Here's what most people don't realize. You don't need a separate ritual. You can get the full benefit of turmeric just by cooking more mindfully, adding it to food you're already making, as long as fat is present. Turmeric in scrambled eggs or an omelet. The yolk fat handles the absorption automatically. Zero extra effort. Turmeric in vegetable soup. Add a spoonful of olive oil to the pot. Done. Turmeric with lentils. This is the classic Indian combination that has existed for centuries. Dal is almost always made with turmeric cooked in ghee or oil. Tradition got it right long before science caught up. Turmeric with salmon or mackerel. The fat in the fish itself does the job. Season the fish with turmeric before cooking, and you're getting both the omega-3s and the curcumin absorbed together. Turmeric in braised chicken. Cook it low and slow with a bit of olive oil, and the absorption happens naturally as part of the meal. The rule is simple. Turmeric plus fat, every day. The format doesn't matter, the consistency does. When is the best time to take it? This question comes up constantly. Morning on an empty stomach, with lunch, before bed? Here's the honest answer. The time of day matters far less than what's sitting in your stomach next to it. Turmeric needs fat present. That's the priority. A meal with good fat at breakfast works just as well as a meal with good fat at dinner. If you had to choose between taking it at the perfect time with no fat versus taking it at any time with fat, take it with fat. Every single time. The second thing that matters more than timing, consistency. 1 cup a week does almost nothing. A small amount every single day is what creates the kind of results the research actually talks about. What does turmeric actually do in your body? Why does any of this matter? When absorbed properly, curcumin targets the signals that drive chronic inflammation in your body. And this matters enormously, because chronic, low-grade inflammation is now understood to be behind heart disease, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's, joint degradation, and the kind of slow, grinding fatigue that millions of Americans accept as just getting older. Scientists even have a name for it now. Inflammaging. Quiet inflammation that doesn't hurt sharply but slowly wears the body down year after year. Like rust that doesn't appear overnight but builds up invisibly until suddenly things stop working the way they used to. Curcumin, taken consistently with fat, directly suppresses the signals that drive that process. What can you realistically expect and when? No miracles. No overnight transformations. But here's what real consistent use actually produces. Most people notice the small things first within 2 to 4 weeks. Getting out of bed feels a little easier. That morning stiffness in your joints eases up faster. The afternoon energy crash becomes less severe. Brain fog starts to lift slightly. These feel like minor things. But these minor things are exactly what adds up to feeling genuinely different over months of consistent use. Some people need a little longer, 5 to 6 weeks before anything noticeable shifts. That doesn't mean it's not working. Chronic inflammation built up over years doesn't reverse in days. Why this matters even more. After 53 things change as you get older that make proper turmeric preparation more important, not less. First, fat metabolism slows down slightly with age, which means the quality of fat in your diet becomes more important, not less. This is not the time to go fat-free. Second, many people over 60 produce less stomach acid, making it harder to break down dense compounds. That gentle heating we talked about makes a real difference here. It starts the process before the food even hits your stomach. Third, inflammation accumulates faster with age. The body's natural anti-inflammatory mechanisms become less efficient over time. This is exactly when consistent daily curcumin with fat can pull real weight. One thing that will quietly cancel all of this out, turmeric can't outwork a bad diet. If your daily eating is heavy in sugar, refined carbohydrates, and cheap inflammatory oils, you're essentially trying to put out a fire with one hand while pouring gasoline with the other. You don't need a perfect diet, but the calmer and more consistent your overall eating is, the more room curcumin has to actually do its job. cut the obvious inflammation triggers: heavily processed food, excess sugar, fried food, and cheap vegetable oils, and turmeric's effect becomes noticeably more powerful. The one thing to check before you start taking supplements: if you cook with turmeric, you're fine. Go ahead, no conversation needed. But if you're considering high-dose curcumin supplements and you take any medication regularly, blood thinners, blood pressure medication, diabetes medication, talk to your doctor first. This isn't just a legal disclaimer. It's because of that same liver pathway we discussed, where concentrated curcumin can affect how your medications are processed. A 5-minute conversation with your physician protects you and makes the whole thing work better. A surprising bonus: tomatoes work the same way. Here's something worth knowing before you go. Turmeric isn't the only food that follows this exact same rule. Lycopene, the powerful antioxidant in tomatoes, is also absorbed dramatically better when tomatoes are cooked with a bit of oil rather than eaten raw. A fresh tomato salad with no oil gives you far less lycopene than a simple tomato sauce simmered in olive oil. Sometimes the difference in what food does to your body has nothing to do with what you're eating, and everything to do with how you prepared it. That's a principle worth remembering across your entire kitchen. Half a teaspoon of turmeric, a little warm liquid, 2 minutes of gentle heat, 1 teaspoon of good oil. Every single day, that's it. That's the whole thing. Cheap, simple, and more effective than anything sold in an expensive bottle. If you do it right and you do it consistently. We're going for 200,000 subscribers before the end of this month. And if this video gave you something genuinely useful, something you're going to use tomorrow morning, subscribe right now and share this with one person who needs it. Now go make the recipe. Start tonight. Your body will feel the difference. You just have to give it enough days in a row to prove it.